This girl just finished a puzzle she spent weeks completing, but the finished result left her completely confused.
Last piece of this all blue puzzle. Oh my goodness, this took so long to put together, but it looks so good. Wait. Are you serious?
Welcome to your new reality. This is a dragon face bird, a Dracula parrot. We now have floating ant piles with stingers that have venom.
He's already coming into power.
It's only a dream.
Wake up. Ever seen a bird with fuzzy earmuffs and a mouth that could swallow a whole moth? That's the great-eared nightjar, a super adorable little creature that rules the night. During the day, these birds camouflage themselves on branches, blending in with their surroundings. But as night falls, they transform into expert hunters. Their large eyes allow them to see in low-light conditions, while their sensitive hearing, aided by those distinctive ear tufts, help them locate prey in the darkness. Perched on a branch, they might look cuddly and innocent, but they're ready to strike. When a moth or beetle dares to fly by, the nightjar strikes with lightning speed, snapping it up with its sharp beak. Great-eared nightjars are primarily insectivores, feeding on moths, beetles, and other flying insects. Despite their specialized lifestyle, they are surprisingly graceful and efficient hunters. With their nocturnal habits and quirky appearance, these fascinating birds remind us of the many secrets that come to life when the sun sets.
This week we'll be looking at the Dracula parrot, a red and black parrot that has no relation to vampires, blood-sucking, or Transylvania, but its feathers kind of look like blood and it's got a scary looking face, so I guess that is close enough for whoever gave it that nickname. It's a nickname because it's not the parrot's real name, but Dracula parrot sounds much better than Pesquet's parrot. Pesquet's parrots are the only members of their genus, this word, and they are classed as true parrots, so at least half of its name is correct. It is indeed a parrot. As previously mentioned, Dracula parrots have no connection to Transylvania, or Romania as a whole. This is because they don't live there. They live in a very different place, on the island of New Guinea in the Pacific Ocean. On the island of New Guinea, these parrots are only found in very specific areas. Mountain forests are their main habitat, and they will tend to live in social groups within the forests. They are commonly found at the very least in pairs or in groups up to 20 individuals in size. The island of New Guinea is actually in third place for the number of different parrot species living there. South America holds the largest number at around 100 of the 393 different species of parrot. Australia is second at 57, and New Guinea holds 46. Though it's third place, in my opinion, it still beats the others because they don't have the Dracula parrot, making them clearly worse. The reason the Dracula parrot only lives in the mountainous rainforest regions of New Guinea is all down to their very specific diet. They're named Dracula parrots and look like they are flesh-eating, blood-sucking vultures, but they actually only eat figs and nectar, a rather more pleasant diet than what you would expect. Figs and flowers do run out quickly when groups of 20 parrots all start eating them in one area, and so they are known to seasonally migrate around the mountainous regions of their island so they don't run out of figs and starve. Interestingly, their featherless heads seem to be a direct adaptation to their feeding behavior. Just as vultures have bald heads to allow them to feast on flesh and blood without their feathers matting, so do Dracula parrots, except it's to stop sticky fig juice and nectar from congealing in their feathers, not blood.
Nothing on it. I don't even understand. Nothing on it. I don't even understand how you could sit here and cut a pizza with no sauce or cheese on it. Knock it off. You're not going to take it back. They're going to come pick up the pizza because they brought it. I'm not stupid. I'm looking at it right in front of me. I know what breadsticks look like, and this is not breadsticks. Soggy dough at that. Stop. What?
Stop. Oh my. Oh my God.
And that's now a floating mound of fire ants. If they float by you, they're going for higher, drier ground, and that's you, and that's the last thing you want.
Fire ants and how they create their own life rafts. A Texas A&M professor studying pest management says floodwaters alone, they don't drown the fire ants. The rising water actually causes the colonies to rise from the soil and form a loose ball. We're talking about like the larva and everything, floating and flowing with the water until it meets a dry area or object that they can crawl up on. Now, while there are layers of ants underwater and over the water, as you saw in the video, they're constantly moving. So they're giving the ants at the bottom a chance to get up and get some air. Research found that fire ant rafts can contain up to 100,000 worker ants, and the floating mound can survive up to 12 days.
This soft mound of dirt is home to some tough insects, red fire ants. They're all over the southern US. And if you get too close, you will regret it. They clamp onto you with their huge jaws, and then they sting. Over and over. Rude. They inject nasty venom that burns and causes itchy welts to pop up. And if you think they're scary on land, you're gonna absolutely hate them during a flood. Imagine wading into one of these. This floating nightmare is made out of thousands of fire ants. They've escaped their flooded nest by making a raft from their own bodies. Here's how they pull it off. As floodwater trickles into the tunnels below their mound, fire ants start a rescue mission. They evacuate the colony's babies, these larvae and pupae, to the surface. If you look at the raft from below, you'll see how those hairs trap air bubbles and hold the larvae together in clusters. This ability has helped red fire ants spread across the world from South America, where they evolved along the river's edge. Rafts can stay afloat for almost 2 weeks. With the whole colony to protect, workers are extra defensive. They sting with more venom than usual. Not a good time to run into them. When the water recedes, they'll dig a new nest.
Today we're talking about one of the most inappropriate sounding plants in the world, the squirting cucumber.
This plant is explosive. It uses its seed-firing machine gun to colonize huge empires. And it has a poisonous fruit that can damage your soft tissue. This plant is ready to go to war. It's the squirting cucumber. At first sight, Ecbalium elaterium, commonly known as the squirting or exploding cucumber, looks like your average flowering plant. This Mediterranean cutie is part of the gourd family, along with crowd favorites like watermelons, pumpkins, and of course, cucumbers. The squirting cucumber has pretty little yellow flowers and fuzzy fruits that vaguely resemble its edible namesake. Other members of its family rely on animals to eat those fruits and disperse the seeds through their feces.
But squirting cucumbers take a slightly different approach. They spread their seeds using one of the most dramatic dispersal methods in the world. They explode. It's called balakari, and it works like this.
The squirting cucumber's fruits have very soft cells that accumulate water to produce osmotic pressures of up to 27 atmospheres.
That's about the same amount of pressure you'd feel if you were to dive 260 meters underwater.
If the fruit is shaken and separated from its stalk, it sets off a chain reaction that makes the cells expand and shoot out the seeds. This is the famous squirt, and it makes the seeds fly up to 6 meters away from the plant.
Okay, let's see that again, this time in slow motion.
You can see that the moment the fruit falls off, it just starts firing. At the base of the fruit, there's a hole where it broke off from the stem. That's where the seeds and the fluids shoot out.
This has been a Pinguinati production. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, links are in the description.